What the fuck? Nation, we in the building. Let's get it.
Sanctioned by the new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
Yo, shout out to everybody already here in the building, man. Salute, salute, salute. Make sure you wipe them feet, pay your bar tabs, break them thumbs, and all that good stuff, man. Salute to my brothers in the building. Today's going to be a goodie. You know, we're going to talk more about this Marcus Peters situation. We're going to talk about starters. We're all three going to give our takes on who's starting on the defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball. We're going to have some fun tonight, man. Before we do that, and before I introduce my brothers, as always, shout out to Wasted Talent, Raider Nation Unlimited. Our man's just hit 7,000 subscribers today, y'all. Like, let's go. Shout out to Hammer with the greatest fucking sound effects known to man. Bro, it's been a blessing, man. You know, to watch your ascension, man, and be a part of that, man. So salute to you, bro. Appreciate 7K. I know Hammer's about to hit that mark here soon. I know Andy's where's Andy at? Is he's around there?
He's over 7, if I remember correctly.
Well, he's on his way to 8. So this is a beautiful thing, man. A dynamic. Let's all run Hammers up. We got to get Hammer to 7K here soon, shortly. But right now, man, everybody in the chat, man, make sure you give our brother Wasted Talent his flowers. He's been putting in the work, man. 7K in pretty much 1 calendar year. That is a beautiful thing, man. Shout out to our dog, man. You already know what time it is, my brother. It's a blessing, man. Thank you for having us be a part of what you got going on. And this is just phenomenal, phenomenal work, man. So shout out to our brother Wasted Talent, man. You want to say something to the nation real quick?
I just want to say thank you, everybody, man. I want to thank you, Docs. I want to thank you, Hammer. You know, I want to thank Andy, you know what I mean, and everybody who's like kind of helped me out along the way, man. You know, look, man, I never expected to get as deep into this as I have. Yeah. But now, you know what I'm saying? I like, man, I'm so glad I did. I'm just really, I'm happy that, you know, things are progressing the way they are, man. Appreciate everybody.
There you go. We got our little brother in the building as well. Our brother that we're looking forward to actually celebrating 7K very, very soon as well. Our brother Hammer, Bing Bong, is in the building. What's good, little bro?
Hey, shit, man. Fucking long day. I don't know how I'm still awake right now, but I'm definitely looking forward to talking about our potential starters for the 2023 season.
And I just found it behind the scenes too, so we're good.
There you go.
By position, easy to go. Real quick, you guys, I want to shout this out real quick as well. OakLosVegas.com is actually down behind the scenes right now. I'm revamping the website, adding a bunch of new stuff, taking away all the winter collection, all the sweatsuits and all that good stuff. So if anybody's on the website right now, I seen earlier there was like 5 people on the site and there was questions through my email. I just want to let everybody know that it's down now. You can actually go on the website, look around, but there's going to be a bunch of new stuff and you cannot check out. So just letting you guys know, OakLosVegas.com is down just for the time being. We're adding a bunch of new stuff. We're trying to add a summer line, a bunch of new designs. So stay tuned for that. It will be back very, very soon. Shout out to our brother Big Mike as well. He was going to come on live. He's not really feeling too well right now. So we'll get him on again shortly. And shout out to our little brother, Andy. We already know he's probably working one of the 13 jobs that he has in Oakland. So shout out to our little bro.
Jamaican behind the scenes, y'all. He is Jamaican behind the scenes.
Talk that shit. Let's get to it, man. Basically, today we're going to give our take, you guys, on who starts on both sides of the field, offensively, defensively, on both sides of the ball. I'm sorry. All of us are probably going to have different opinions, different takes on certain positions. And we're going to go over the full roster and just kind of just pick apart, see where we are. And we're going to have a good time with this, man. And then we are going to end the show with our takes on Marcus Peters. I mean, there really isn't anything to really talk about at this point. There's no updates. I see Victor Fur just kind of tweeted out, we have nothing for you right now at this point. We know he was in the building yesterday, but there was no tweet at all about him leaving without a deal or anything. And usually it's, Marcus Peters left without a deal. Maybe they'll come back to the table. There was nothing. So it's been very, very quiet. So I think that's a good thing. I think that these guys are probably working on, it's probably the negotiations, a money thing, and they're just trying to figure out a balance of what works for both sides. So that's kind of where I am with this. It could be the total opposite. He just walked out and be like, fuck it, I'm going somewhere else. But I'm assuming without that exit tweet, right, he left without a deal, I'm assuming that they're working on something. So hopefully there's a partnership here soon with the all-pro Pro Bowl corner, Marcus Peters. Shout out to Old School. Congrats, Wasted. You now have as many subs as the Raiders have wide receiver.
God damn.
That's hilarious. Yeah. You know what? When we talk about the Marcus Peters thing, there are a lot of different caveats with a player that has the injury history that he has. And that's kind of, I think it's more of a medical thing, man. And I don't know that I'm just kind of spitballing right now, but I think money-wise, he sees how much cap space the Raiders have. He kind of knows what he's getting into. And I feel like if he had another option on the table, probably would have signed already.
Yeah.
I think really it's a medical thing. And I think that they're sitting there and they're making sure he's healthy. And I think if he's healthy, they'll probably sign him. But I think it's more so of that.
And according to Spot Track, you guys, and take this kind of with a grain of salt because they're kind of all over the place, but it looks as though they have us at $4.5 million right now. We paid pretty much all of our rookies at this point. So it looks as though $4.5 million is around that range is what we're playing with at this point. So Marcus Peters, we're going to free up some more cap space here soon. Even Hondo put out a tweet today stating that he thinks post-June we're going to move on from Hunter Renfrow. So that's a lot more money to play with, whether it's through trade or through, I don't know. But preferably, I'd rather, swap him out for another player, Isaiah Simmons, or one of those type of guys. It'd be great.
Isaiah Simmons, that would be the best trade we've ever made.
Yeah, exactly. a hybrid linebacker that can definitely help this linebacker room. But we'll have some more money here shortly, so we may have to hold off a little bit. But look, if you can sign Marcus right now and give him some incentives in that contract and then free up some more cap space, whether you restructure Colton Miller or Devontae or whatever you want to do, we can still create some more money, man. So, but regardless, you guys, if we do lock down Marcus, it looks as though it's probably going to be a 1-year deal. I don't think there's going to be anything more than that. That torn ACL a year or two ago, like it definitely just what Wasted said. A medical thing is probably making sure that, everything is good and everything's good to go. But this is a 1-year deal. I don't think you sign Marcus Peters for any more than that unless you do a 2-year, second-year team option. But I still don't even see that happen. I just think this is a 1-year deal. You move on. There's going to be some great corners in next year's draft and free agency class. This is going to be kind of a bring in a veteran, help usher in these young guys, and keep it pushing. So, but hey, it is what it is. Let me share this real quick, you guys. I'm going to present this. Shout out to everybody here in the building, man. Salute, salute, salute. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. All right, let me, boom. You guys see this?
Yeah, I see. I'm trying to actually log into Pro Football Focus, my Pro Football Focus, because I pay for it, and I've had an issue logging in so we can get all of those numbers. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that would be great. But right now, the cool thing is they're all already broke down by position, you guys. So, we can kind of go. We'll start on the offensive side of the ball. We'll just do this real quick and get to it. Offense, I think, is a little more easier than the defense, right? I mean, we kind of already know where we are in terms of the O-line, the receivers, the tight end position, all that good stuff. Quarterback, we got Aiden O'Connell, Brian Hoyer, Chase Garbers, who will be a practice squad guy, and we got Jimmy G. I think this is clear as day, you guys. We can all agree on this. Jimmy G is the starting quarterback.
You know what?
Yeah, why not?
Ryan, high stakes Hoyer, quarterback. That guy.
I mean, I think this is the easiest position to dictate. I mean, unless, God forbid an injury occurs in training camp or something like that. At this point, Jimmy G is the clear-cut starter. And if he did go down, there's no Brian Hoyer. There's no Chase Garbers. It is Aiden, high stakes, O'Connell, Mr. Pocket Statue himself. I'm telling you now, he will be the guy to come in if Jimmy G.
State Trooper O'Connell.
Officer Farva right there, man. Give me a liter of cola.
Give me a liter of cola. That's the easiest call right there. I mean, that's just easy. Now, this gets a little more trickier. All right. The wide receiver room. This shit is deep. Look at how deep. Look at how many wide receivers. Christian Wilkerson, a guy that we just signed yesterday, former New England Patriot. Trey Tucker, rookie out of Cincinnati. Cam Sims, another guy that came over from the Commanders with one of his former coaches that's actually helping call the plays on the offensive side of the ball for us now. Jacoby Myers, another former New England Patriot. We brought back Keelan Cole, which, Wasted likes to call him Key Lime Cole. DeAndre Carter, another guy that had a career year with the Chargers last season. Philip Dorsett, former Miami Hurricane, former Patriot, Texan. He's up there in age. He is a speedster. DJ Turner, which I'm still actually shocked that he's still on this roster. I like him. I know we all like him, but I think the writing's on the wall for him. Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, which is the clear-cut GOAT, and then Chris Lacey. We'll start with Hammer, man. Who is your starting wide receiver room right now if week 1 started today?
You got Tay and Jacoby on the outside, and if Renfro's there come week 1, he'll be the one in the slot for the time being. I see Trey Tucker being a special teams guy, a return guy. Maybe plug him in if we're going like a full ace gun formation or even trips formation every now and then. But our starting tight end is most likely going to be Mayer over Hooper. We'll see what Mayer does throughout training camp, throughout the preseason. I'm still convinced.
A lot of 2 tight end sets, though. You know how this is.
Absolutely. But I'm still convinced that I don't see OJ Howard making the opening day roster. So
I actually agree with you. They're very high on Jesper Horsted, and I think Howard is on the outside looking in. Wasted, what you got right here with the receiver room, brother?
Well, going tight end, Mayer, definitely it's our number 1 guy. It's like Hammer said. Hooper, Jesper Horsted. I think they keep 4 tight ends.
Well, we still haven't even tackled that position. You guys are just jumping all over the fucking place.
Oh, hey, listen, I was listening to Hammer. My bad. I was listening to Hammer. My bad.
Never listen to Hammer. You made the mistake of listening to Hammer, and boom, you forgot all about the receivers and went right to the
Yes,
tight
I
end.
did. All right, so look, we got to look. All right, we know that Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers are 2 guys you can kind of circle in, right? Mm-hmm. If we're keeping 5 wide receivers, DeAndre Carter is a guy that I think is going to make this roster.
Just starters. Just starters. No, don't even worry about who's making the roster.
So, all right. So basically, of course, you already know you got Jacoby Myers, you got Devontae Adams, and then we got to have a slot receiver. If they get rid of Hunter Renfrow, then it'll be DeAndre Carter in the slot.
Okay.
Or on the outside. So those are to be the 3 starters.
Okay, I got Devontae on one side, got Jacoby on the other. And I shocking, you guys. I got Trey Tucker starting in the slot for us. I think Hunter Renfro's out of here. I think he was drafted to be the replacement, and I think that him and Jacoby Myers would be, interchangeable. I think Jacoby's going to play a lot in the slot, but Trey Tucker's a starter. I truly believe that we're going to free up that money from Hunter Renfrow. I think that's pretty much our only trade asset at this point. You know what I mean? And I think that it's kind of the writing's on the wall, low key. Don't get me wrong. I would love to go into this season with Hunter Renfrow as a starting slot guy, but I think that he's going to be out of here. So I think Trey Tucker in the slot, Jacoby on the other side with Devontae on the other. And, there we
Forgive me. You know what? I didn't even put the rookies into the mix, man. So Carter is definitely a guy that is. I can't see him start over Tucker. Tucker's electric, man.
Yeah.
I forgot about the rookies, man. Forgot about the rookies. Blame my heart, not my head, man. I forgot. So yeah, you got to definitely get that rookie out there on they brought him in for a reason, man. They could have went defensive, they could have went defensive back. They could have went linebacker. There's so many different places they could have went in the draft at that point in the draft. For them to take him, he's a guy that they have penciled in as a starter, I think.
There was so much talent there on the defensive side of the ball still available when we took Trey Tucker. So I think they have really high hopes for him. And I'm excited. I was already watching some of the tape on him at rookie camp, and he was already out there looking like he's ready to go. So, at this point, Trey Tucker, Devontae, Jacoby Myers. Let's bring this back up. Shout out to Corrigan real quick, man. Much love to my dogs. Wasted, Hammer, and Graphk. Who's the starting safety? Rooms are stacked. We're not at that position yet, my brother, but we got you. Stay tuned, man. Shout out to you for always, man, supporting what we do. All right. So we got the receivers out the way. We got the quarterback position out the way. Now we go down to the running back room. I think this is easy, right? I mean, we got Amir Abdullah, Britton Browns, Amir White, Sincere McCormick, a guy I've been high on. Josh Jacobs, a guy that's on the franchise tag at this point. Brandon Bolden, which I think he'll be another guy that we release here shortly. I know this is a Josh McDaniels guy, former Patriot. I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do in year one, help these guys with the system. Now get him out of here. Free up that, $2-3 million. Get Brandon Bolden out of here. We still got Austin Walter, another guy that looked really good in preseason for us. He'll probably be a practice squad guy. And then we got Jakob Johnson. This is clear cut. This is Josh Jacobs at the running back position, and it's a fullback is Jakob Johnson. I mean, is there anything different from you guys?
Then that's done. That's done. It's nothing else unless Josh Jacobs is moved before the season, but I don't see that happening. Because if they were thinking about moving him, they'd have done it during the draft.
Yeah.
They would have done it during the draft. That's when his value is the highest. Now you're kind of, selling him on the cheap because now you're trying to make something happen right before the season. So, JJ will be starting.
JJ and Jakob. Anything different, little bro?
Not at all, man. Like, I still believe that Jacobs is getting this deal. The deal will be done probably just before the start of the regular season. And this will most likely be his final contract. As we've talked about it before, he wants to retire at the age of 30. So this is probably going to be most likely his very last contract.
Now, let me ask you this. Does Saquon Barkley turning down $14 million potentially murder us in terms of Josh Jacobs' deal?
I hope to God not, but I also hope that I'd much rather see Jacobs get a deal done before fucking Saquon.
Yeah, I agree.
I believe that it all depends on what Josh Jacobs' motives are. Yeah. If it's him getting the most money that he possibly can, then it's a big problem with the Raiders. But if he's the kind of guy where he's like, listen, what makes the most sense for me? What makes the most sense for like what I'm trying to accomplish here in football? Is this the best situation for me and my skill set? He had a career year last year, and in this offense, he can be successful. So I think if you get him in the neighborhood, you can keep him here for $12 million a year. Yeah. I firmly believe that, but I don't think you got to give him $14 million if his intentions is just staying with the Raiders and getting a contract that's comparable to what everything else is going on in the National Football League.
I agree. If I got to say this to you guys, Josh is a good dude. I don't know his personal life, but I have to say this, and he's probably in the chat right now. So shout out to my bro. I'm not going to say too many names or whatnot, but we know somebody. Well, I don't know somebody, but he knows somebody that's actually from the city, from Tulsa, from the area that actually knows Josh Jacobs. And apparently those 9 babies are true. Apparently those 9 kids are true. Now, if that is true, that man wants the baggery, because he's gonna want at least $1.5 million for each kid, or like 1.1 for each kid. So all I'm saying is this, man: if that shit is true, that man wants his baggery. If he's talking about retiring at 30, he wants his money. And look, I'm not making any
9 children.
Allegedly. That's all I'm gonna say. Allegedly. It's true. So, because that was the rumor, right? Everybody was like, oh, we got all these kids, blah, 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 blah. Well, apparently somebody in Tulsa actually knows him and knows the situation. So all I'm going to say is if that is true, that man wants his chips and his dippery. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, he been laying a lot of watermelon seeds,
A
man.
lot of watermelon seeds, definitely. So we agreed on that. Jacobs and Jakob. You know, I think that was pretty easy right here. The tight end room right here, man. We got John Schechner, tight end. He's a UDFA. This is a guy that is going to probably be on the practice squad or maybe not even make the roster. 6'4", 250 out of Auburn. Michael Mayer, we already know who he's going to be. Baby Gronk, second round guy out of Notre Dame. OJ Howard, a guy that's really never reached that potential that coming out of Alabama. Austin Hooper, two-time Pro Bowler. He's still there, 6'4", a guy that can still get it done in the pass and the receiving game a lot. Jesper Horsted, another guy that this regime is very, very high on from what I'm hearing. And then we still got Cole Fotheringham, another guy that I think will be a UDFA. He is a UDFA, another guy that I think would be a practice squad guy out of Utah. We'll start with Wasted here, man. What is your tight end start? Who's starting in the tight end room?
Oh, Michael Mayer.
Okay.
Michael Mayer, 100%. Michael Mayer, and then I think the way they're going to run that tight end room is it's going to be a dual situation where you're not really going to have a noticeable difference in snaps between Mayer and Austin Hooper. And I think, Jesper Horsted is the guy that they're going to keep. Cole Fotheringham is a guy that they can try to stash away again on the practice squad. Mm-hmm. But I don't know the rules that they can do that 2 years in a row. I think they can.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a guy that they're probably going to stash away, and OJ Howard's going to be gone.
Okay.
But Jesper Horsted is definitely making a roster. They're very high on him. And to be honest with you, I think Jesper Horsted can be the Aaron Hernandez to Michael Mayer's Gronk. I mean, Jesper Horsted is an excellent receiving tight end, man.
6'3", 237 out of Princeton. Still young, 26 years old. Look, man, that's shocking because I had more of along the lines of Hooper and Michael Mayer is that 1-2 punch. But I like that because Horsted is not really getting paid too much. We signed to a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
So I would like that. What you got, Hammer?
Pretty much the same. Like I said, Mayer is a guy that I'm very, very high on right now. Did wonders at Notre Dame, and this is going to be a guy, especially for Mr. Pornhub himself, Jimmy G.
Go.
He thrives, man. He thrives in the red zone with his tight ends. We've seen the numbers that he's put up with George Kittle in the past. I think we're going to see a very explosive tight end room between him and Hooper. I'm looking forward to seeing the tight end sets reminiscent of Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. I think that we're going to see Mayer, Hooper, Horsted, and Fotheringham. Again, Fotheringham's probably going to be on the practice squad, and OJ Howard is going to be out of there.
I agree. I think Howard's out of here. I think that Hooper's going to get plenty of playing time on those two tight end sets. But Michael Mayer was drafted he was drafted in the second round because of his catching ability, definitely, but because of his blocking ability. Hooper doesn't possess that same quality. Yes, he's a capable blocker, but he's more, better. He's better in the passing game. And Michael Mayer can get it done on both sides. So I think Mayer is the starter, but I think that Hooper and them, when they do have those two tight end sets, and Hooper's still going to get a lot of burn. Don't get it wrong. Like, he's still going to get a lot of burn, but Michael Mayer is the clear-cut starter. You went and took him in the second round. You traded up for him. He is the starter.
Yeah, see, the only thing about, when you talk about Austin Hooper, man, yeah, he's been a guy that's been productive in the National Football League, but I kind of feel like he kind of gives you the same kind of skill set on a lower level. And we haven't seen Mayer play in the National Football League, but just based off of college, he gives you the same kind of look and the same kind of style of tight end that Mayer is, that balance, blocking and receiving tight end, right? Mm-hmm. The guy that goes over the middle, holds onto the ball, pretty decent in the red zone. Jesper Horsted runs a 4.7 40, man. That's pretty fast for a tight end, man. He's the kind of guy, him being as tall as he is, that I can see being a projection problem, man, in the middle of the football field with his speed. I really think that he's going to get a lot more burn than people think, man.
Oh, no, I think – don't get me wrong, brother. I think Horsted's he's going to get his issue, but I do believe still – I mean, we took a tight end in the second round. Not only that, we traded up for him. You know what I mean? So I just think that he's going to be the guy, but Horsted is definitely going to be – he's definitely going to get a lot of burn.
Yeah, because I'm talking about the two tight ends. I think the guy that's going to
Oh,
be
you
on
talking in the
outside
two tight end set. So you
yeah,
said Mayer and Horsted.
yeah. No, Mayer is
Oh,
the guy. No, that's what I'm
okay.
saying. I'm
So you're
talking about
questioning Hooper more than Horsted.
yeah. So what I'm saying is I think Horsted is going to play as much as Hooper. I really do. And I think Mayer's never going to come off the field. But I think Horsted is going to take a lot of snaps away from Hooper this year, man. I really do.
The
Wow.
thing that people forget about Hooper is, my bad, little bro. I didn't mean to cut in on you.
No.
He's played for 2 heavy run attacks, 2 quarterbacks with Ryan Tannehill and Baker Mayfield that weren't known to throw the ball that much in Tennessee and Cleveland, right? He was mostly successful in Atlanta when he played with Matty Ice, when he was throwing the ball all over the place. They had Julio Jones and all those guys up there, all those weapons, right? I feel like we're still going to be a run-heavy team as well with Josh. Don't get me wrong, but we're going to pass the ball. Josh McDaniels loves to pass the ball. And I think that Hooper's going to get more of an opportunity here to kind of rehash what he did in Atlanta than what he did in Tennessee and in Cleveland, where they just ran the ball when they had a Derrick Henry and a Chubb and Hunt. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough to get your, you know what I mean? Get those type of, you know what I mean? Like, to get any type of real run when you got a team that preferably runs the ball. So, I think Hooper's going to return to that form. But you're right, though, big bro. I agree. I think Horsted is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the tight end position. But I still believe that Hooper is going to be provided the opportunity to replicate what he did in Atlanta this season. What'd you say, little bro?
Nothing. Was listening to everything you said, and then especially when it comes to Hooper, like, look, Hooper was a 2-time Pro Bowler when he was with Atlanta.
Yeah.
With this type of system, that's obviously different compared to Tennessee and Cleveland. I think he's going to thrive, but ultimately, like, we all know that at the end of the day, Mayer's going to be starting. We can see that constant rotation between Horsted and Hooper, but I think Hooper still has a lot left in the tank, and he still has a lot to prove this coming season with us. So we'll see how it plays out for him.
Yeah, I mean, look, once again, I just feel like, the guy's been blocking for the last couple of years, right? And he hasn't gotten the kind of opportunities to receive the football. I just think at this point in his career, man, when you got 2 young guys like that, I think that this organization is making it their business to feature young players. There's been a youth movement all up and down this roster. They're not keeping old players. I think that he's more so of a stopgap, just in case something goes wrong. One of those young guys, you got a capable guy there on the roster. I think it's going to be a complete and total overhaul with the youth movement on this team.
Okay. I like it. Let's get to the next positions, you guys. We're going to the O-line, and we'll go by position. We have 2 centers technically. We have a bunch of other guys that can, man the center position if need be, the Parhams, the Alex Bars of the world, if need be. But right now we have Graphk and we have Andre James. I think we can all 3 agree, right, that Andre James is the clear-cut starter this year at the center position.
There's nobody else on the roster besides Dylan Parham, and it doesn't look like they're going to be putting Dylan Parham at center at all. Yeah. He's the guy.
What you got, little bro?
Same. Look, there's nobody else right now.
Yeah. And I'm not ready to move Parham to center, especially after what they did last year with him playing predominantly at guard. We need some type of, what is it, continuity. Continuity.
Continuity. It's like taking a multimeter. You look for continuity. Continuity.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it's clear cut, man. Andre James is coming back to start for this team again. Yeah. He's still only 26 years old. He showed some maturation in his game last season. I think Andre James is the clear cut starter at center. Then you go to the guard position. Jordan Meredith, Muti is there, another guy that we just signed to a 1-year deal. Once we got him off the practice squad last year from Denver, former Fresno State guy. Parham, our 2nd-year guy out of Memphis. Vitaly Gurman, another guard. Look, I think right now, looking at these guys, and there's another guy down here, and I don't know why they have him at tackle, but we'll get to that. I mean, McClendon Curtis is right there, you guys. I don't have him. I don't know why they have him at tackle. He's a guard. He's going to be a guard at the next level.
He's a UDFA, and they don't know. I think they screwed up.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, when we're looking at this is the hardest thing to project, right? because look, you got guys you can pencil in, right?
Yeah. Right.
Dylan Parham was their highest draft pick last year, so you got to view him as their. They didn't have a first rounder, but he is this organization's first draft pick.
Yes,
he's going to start. That you can pencil that in. He's going to be on the left side of the line, and what they're going to do with him is they're going to put him on the left side of the line to put him in between Andre James and Colton Miller, and they're going to kind of have him where he has two vets next to him so that he can be better. I think that's a mistake that the previous regime made with Alex Leatherwood. They didn't have any vets next to him on the line, and it kind of and listen, he was overdrafted. But I think he could have been a better player than he was had he had more vets around him. So I think this is one way that they're kind of insulating Dylan Parham to kind of push him up the roster so he can be a fucking perennial starter.
Yeah.
The right side of the line gets a little more tricky at right guard.
It does. But I have to say this real quick. I think Muti is better at left guard, but I think Parham is going to be there. So for that reason, I'm a huge fan of Muti. Don't get me wrong, and I think he's going to get some burn this year, but I still have bold prediction: McClendon Curtis wins that right guard spot. Out of Chattanooga.
Wow, see, that's a bold.
I can't even say bold because it's Muti. Like it's not. We're not talking about an all-pro guard or no shit like that. But I got McClendon Curtis winning that right guard spot.
Dude, it's hard for me to look at tape from a guy that comes from a really small school, right? Beating out a guy who's been in the National Football League for a couple of years.
Hasn't started.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that I don't think. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Alex Bars starts at the right guard.
Yep.
Alex Bars is the starter, bro. He's been their starter. He's a guy that. Yeah, but listen, he played pretty good last year.
I don't want to see Alex Bars starting at all.
But see, you got to look at it from this perspective. Alex Bars is really that's been their guy there. That's been their guy there. You got two guys. You got a UDFA and you got a guy that nobody's ever really seen play in silver and black coming in and taking that job. I don't see it.
Look, if you're going to do that, put Mumford there or move Illuminor to right guard and move Mumford to right tackle. I don't want to see Alex Bars starting anywhere near this team. I'm sorry, bro. He's to me, he's a guy that can, come in and rotate it when need be. There's no way in hell. If Alex Bars starts, I'm telling y'all right now, if Alex Bars starts on this line, Jimmy G is going to be killed. He will be gone by week 2 or 3. I'm telling you.
Alex, high stakes Bars, baby. You listen, you write it down. He's gonna, and this is the thing, man. I don't think it's gonna stay that way. You know the way that they like to do, right? They come out, they have their starting lineup, and then that's going to be the place that they're going to be doing their little platooning like they do.
No,
they did it all last year.
They did it last year to figure out what they had. They're not going to do it again in year 2.
Yo, Alex Bars is terrible, but these other two guys, it's hard for me to say that a guy that comes out of Tennessee, Chattanooga, and a guy from a practice squad is going to come and just take that job. I can't see it, bro.
I mean, bro, we got Parham out of Memphis. You know what I mean? We got other players. Like what does that mean?
I can't see it, bro. I can't see them. Look, these guys coming in this season are going to have some real big battles in freaking camp to win that job. Alex Bars was a guy that they had. I mean, how many games did Alex Bars start last year?
Hold on. But both of you guys agree on the Alex Bars?
Unfortunately, as much as I'm not a fan of Alex Bars, I think right now he is going to be starting in week 1. But at the same time,
Hammer and wasted a fucking scrubs.
No.
Hey, bro, are you kidding me?
No. And at the same time, you guys were talking about Thayer Mumford before. Look, Thayer Mumford was on the heels of Illuminor week in and week out. They plug and played him throughout the season, and he wasn't bad. I'm
guys unsubscribe from Wasted, so he goes back down to 6,000 real quick because this is terrible.
Yo, hey, listen.
I'm sorry, Hammer. I'm sorry.
Well, let me say this: the Wasted Talent Army knows what they're getting when they come to Raider Nation Unlimited. They're here in full force now.
They're getting Alex Barr.
You cannot stop the goddamn momentum of Raider Nation Unlimited. But I'll tell you like this, Graphk. You can't be that optimistic on guys that we haven't seen shit from. We ain't seen nothing from these guys.
But we've seen Alex Bars, though. I would rather put a guy out there that I've never seen than a guy that I already know what the fuck he's going to do.
You want to put Brandon Parker at right guard?
No. So basically what you're saying is you know for a fact that a UDFA and a guy that nobody's really seen play are going to be better than a guy that we've seen play.
Yes.
See, to me, I can't go with that logic, bro.
Or it's Muti, or it's Muti, bro. A guy that that can play the guard, that command the guard position. Over Alex Bars, bro. I'm sorry, I will move a Luminor in the guard and have Mumford at right tackle before I play Alex Bars as a starter at the guard spot. There's no way. There's no way. But guess what? You both are high, so I get it. So it's cool.
No. Graph, I think you're high off optimism. You can't just go and just say that a guy that you don't even know is going to make the roster and a guy who was on a practice squad all year is just going to come in and beat out a guy who started a few games for us last year. It don't make any sense.
What I'm saying is I like Muti and I like McClendon Curtis better than Alex Bars.
But how can you say you like McClendon Curtis?
Because I watched Alex Bars play at the NFL level when he was
so you must fucking
arrogant.
So you must think that it's going to be a easy jump. It's going to be a fucking hard road for McClendon Curtis to beat out some of these bum guards.
Not with the GOAT, Carmen Brasillo, manning that room. Get the fuck out of here, Wasted.
Bro, you know what they need to do? They need to go fucking find a guard and go see if Denzel Good wants to play again. Because, bro, I'm telling you, if you fucking think that this guy McClendon Curtis is definitely making a roster, bro, you were smoking D and fucking D, bro. This fucking guy has come out of nowhere. He played his little ass school, and I'm gonna have him penciled in as a starter as a rookie? No fucking way, man.
He's a fucking scrub. This is
Mr. Graphk, you need to go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and say that shit to your goddamn self. I'm a fucking scrub.
Shout out to Kenny Matt. We can all agree that this would be a full-scale battle. Yes, I agree with that, Kenny. But don't be shocked if Mumford is in the hunt, Muti's in the hunt, McClendon Curtis is in the hunt, and then Alex Bars is somewhere behind all those guys. But I'm just saying,
Alex Bars allowed 5 sacks last year. Now, don't get it wrong.
Who?
But man, listen.
Wait, what'd you say?
He allowed 5 sacks last year.
Who?
Alex high stakes Bars.
And that's your guys' starting right guard going into the season.
But guess what? Guess how many fucking sacks McClendon Curtis gave up last year? 0, because he wasn't in the NFL. And he didn't get a big program. You act like this fucking guy came out of the University of Michigan. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
He played
at fucking Jim and Larry's college, and he's gonna come and start for the Raiders.
Hey, little bro, Hammer. What school did Tyreek Hill go to?
Texas Tech.
Yeah, listen.
He played in the Big 12, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah, please, man.
No. Let's not do it. What school did Jerry Rice go to?
Don't fucking go back into the 80s, bro, when they didn't even fucking scout people at HBCUs. He went to Mississippi Valley State, a HBCU. That's because it was back in the fucking early 80s and people were morons and they didn't look in little fucking podunk towns. Let's be for real, bro. It's Graphk. Like, theoretically, right? I don't want Alex Bars to start. But you gotta be for real here, bro. This dude is a UDFA, and this other guy's been a perennial practice squad guy. Damn, they have to do better. I would fucking hope that it would be Jordan Meredith or somebody else, but not these two dudes.
Yeah, hey, shout out to my brother Demon, man, as well. Let me read this real quick. What's up, fellas? Blessing to y'all. I'll be heading to Vegas for the Pittsburgh game. I'll see you there, my brother. Make sure you call me ahead of time. I got the room. If you need a place to sit your shit out while you run around, you let me know, brother. This is my dog right here. But I have to say this right here. Yes.
Bro. Max Crosby. And this is my
He didn't go to Texas Tech. Y'all are tweaking. Tyreek Hill did not go to Texas Tech.
Tyreek Hill. What did Tyreek Hill?
Oh, you know what? Yo, I just fucked up. I fucking thought you meant Tyree Wilson. My fault. That's my fault.
Listen, I don't care about these guys who are these successful.
Bro, he went to West Alabama.
Bro,
West Alabama.
I don't care about these guys who are aberrations, who have come out. You can name about fucking 30 of them guys, right? But the thing is that how lucky have we been that way? Like, we got lucky with Max Crosby. That's the first time we got lucky with a small school guy in a long time.
You know what? I love this. Rube with 2 great comments real quick. Bars put up Alex Leatherwood numbers. 45.5 offensive grade. Mutia Curtis can start over him. That was Barr's first year starting for a reason. He plays patty cake. And then he follows up with this. Cole Strange was a first-round pick from the same school as Curtis, and he balled out last year. So kill me.
Listen, is he playing for the Raiders?
Who cares?
That's what the fuck I'm talking about, bro.
Hey, little bro, where's Cole Strange playing? Do you know?
Not for the fucking Raiders.
Do you know where Cole Strange is playing right now? I don't look his numbers up too.
With a last name like Strange, probably in his fucking bedroom. I don't know.
He plays for the New England Patriots.
Listen, that guy people were killing the Patriots when they drafted him, right? And they did everything they could to make that pick work. I don't want to hear that shit. He played well, and this has nothing to do with nothing. What I'm saying to you guys is listen, man. If what our bet is that we're betting on a UDFA and a guy that was on a fucking practice squad, bro, then that means that's a fucking problem. They need to go out there and get another guard. Now, Alex Barr sucks, but at least he started for them. This is a guy who's had NFL action. I can't sit up here and be like, oh, I know for a fact that McClendon Curtis is going to be good.
Tuesday, May 16th is the day I found out my brothers ain't shit.
Fucking Graphk.
Fuck you. I found out you wasn't shit when you came on here and told me that this fucking guy from fucking Podunk, Barefoot, Tennessee is going to come and play and start. Like, definitely. Without us seeing him play in any NFL action.
Name another player that came out of Chattanooga that was actually successful. And I'm not asking you to do it, so shut up. God damn it, you motherfucker.
T.O. There you go.
T.O. But, bro, what I'm saying is not
shout out to Growl, too. Cole Strange from Chattanooga also. Head coach is a solid line. Talk that shit, Growl.
Look. Hold up. Is it possible? Yeah. Is it likely? No. And the thing is, I can't sit up here before the season and before I see the guy take a snap and just pencil him as a starter. We're projecting starters. You understand what I'm saying? So
you projected Alex Barr to start. I hate you.
Yeah, but bro, that's the reality of it. That's the reality. That is the reality. Bro, you haven't seen either one of these fucking guys start yet.
But that's my argument. I've seen Alex Barr play. So what are you talking about?
Listen, man.
Bro.
Bro.
Honestly, Hammer in a wheelchair can play better at right guard than Barrs. Y'all are
I have never and will never play offensive line a day in my life. Fuck that shit. I'm good.
I'm be honest with you, Graphk.
Uh-oh.
Hey, man, I like Mooty. I fucking love that guy, man. Fucking love that guy, man. Let me tell you something, man. If I was the coach, man, I'd have Mooty starting at fucking left tackle, man. He's my fucking favorite player, man. Tell you something, man.
Yo, bro, Grew, you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Hey, man, listen, man. Let me tell you something, man. How about this for a line? Alex Leatherwood, Mooty, fucking Barrs, center. Let's think about it, man. Think about it. And then we'll go get Denzel Good out of retirement with one leg, man. Wheel him out there. He'll be our fucking right tackle, man.
First snap. Week 1, Jimmy G breaks both his ankles if that shit happens. We're not, look, y'all. Let's move on from this shit. Let's move on. Let's move on. Real quick, shout out to Kenny Mack. What about the tackle we have from Hillsdale, Michigan? Jared Valdir. Oh my God, bro. I don't even want to talk about that.
Oh man, the incredible bulk. He was
the incredible bulk.
He was roided out of his mind, man. You remember that when he left? I was so glad when that
motherfucker looked crazy.
Look, I was mad when he's left, but I remember when he got to Arizona and he was in training camp and he just looked, you could just see the steroids popping out of his ears. I said, man, we got to get this fucking guy out of here.
Yo, right tackle, left tackle. I think this is clear as day at this point. We got Justin Murray. Another guy that a lot of people forget about is Justin Herron, a guy that we traded for last year from New England. At right tackle. That's a guy that's definitely going to fight for that spot. I think Illuminor is the starting right tackle, me personally. Brandon Parker came back. He's going to be a guy that I don't ever want to see on the field. But if so, he's going to be a guy that just comes in spurts to give guys a little bit of rest. You know what I mean? I don't want to see him out there like that. Thayer Mumford, I know a guy that we're all high on, our 7th round pick at Ohio State. I don't know if he's ready to go yet. I think it's Colton, and I think it's Jermaine Illuminor. What do you guys think?
I think you're right. The one thing about Brandon Parker, I just can't understand, man. They were like, well, he's a better left tackle than he's a right tackle. and he goes and gets fucking thoroughly dominated at left tackle. I don't understand why they like. And I saw in the chat somebody put up, "Would you take a flyer on DJ Fluker?" You fucking right, I would.
Hey,
like,
he looked like Jared Veldheer after the steroids.
Yeah, you know what? He does, but he probably was smart and went over to Germany and took some GH, and nobody's going to detect it. Listen, he looks great. Bring him in. Boy, fucking Brandon Parker, bro. How the fuck did that happen?
But I'm going to tell you right now, Fluker can't make it through a full NFL season. Those injuries piled up. He's not going to. I'm telling you, there's a reason why Fluker doesn't have a job. Yeah, he looked good physically. That's great. But there's a difference between being ready physically and football. We know this. We know how this shit goes.
All we need is 3 games out of him a year. If he can't make it through that, all we need is 3 games out of him a year, bro. That's all. He could be on a bench sitting there, and then when somebody gets dinged up, he goes in for a game or 2 and it sits his ass down.
Let me say this. Shout out to our resident steroid taker, Robert. He agrees with me, so I am correct. Shout out to Rob.
No. Look, you're not correct until we see these guys suit up, bro. I like for real. You could be right, and I hope you are right. But I can't. If we're projecting shit, how am I going to project the guys to be starters that I haven't even seen play yet? I can't do. That's me. I can't do that, bro.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. We can also look at other guys. We do have Dalton Wagner, a guy that is 6'8", 6'9" out of Arkansas. He can be a dog for us. I do not think this is going to be another Bam type situation. I think he makes this roster. I don't even, to be real with you, I know we paid Brandon Parker. I don't even know if this guy makes the roster. Like real shit. I think.
But you know what though? If he don't make the roster, that's an indictment on these guys, man. That's an indictment on these because they should have never. He shouldn't even be taking up roster space right now. There should have never fucking brought him back in. If they don't have a plan for him, bro. To me, that's organizational malpractice for them even bringing his ass in, man.
Hey, shout out to Rube. This is facts. This coaching staff has been shown to get proven to show to give UDFAs opportunities if they prove themselves. I know we sucked and we're banged up, but a lot of UDFAs got playing time. This is facts. Luke Masterson was out there. We've seen Darian Butler in spurts. We've seen, Palomau out there last year. We've seen some guys out there get some burns. So
we're gonna see Masterson start this year. I'm telling you now.
Oh yeah,
book that shit now.
Definitely.
But my thing is that the reason why we saw that last year is because we didn't have a full assortment of draft picks, and this team was really bad, right? I don't want to see UDFAs fucking come in here and start and win a job. It's a good story,
why
but
not?
Because I would prefer for them to draft well and to go out there and develop free agents.
That's still considered drafting, though, bro. Like at the end of the day, the best players need to be suited up and ready to go. And Zeke has been proven it to be able to go out there and get great UDFAs.
Yeah, but bro, if we got a bunch of UDFAs starting, that means that we got a weak roster. You want to see? Yeah, it does, because the thing is that if you're going out there and we had how many fucking draft picks do we have this year? How many guys did we?
Had 9. We had 9.
We have fucking 9 draft picks, bro. So my thing is like, those are the guys that I'm like, you know what? You went out, you invested draft capital. I hope that you got it right, and those guys are starting, right? I hope that but if you got to fill a team up with UDFAs, bro, that means that you've missed somewhere else. If you gotta fill a team up.
Speaking of pulling something up, shout out to JT. Wasted all wound up tight tonight. I get like that when the wife puts my drawers in the dryer too long. Let them nuts loose, talent.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I have on right now some bloomers. No tighty whities today, baby. The nuts are hanging free, baby.
Let's get to the defensive side of the ball, you guys. This shit's going to take all night if we keep going the way we're going. We already got the offense out of the way. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, okay? We're going to start the corner position, one of the most questionable, I'll say second most questionable position on this roster completely. The corner room, you guys. We got Jordan Perriman, UDFA, Aziz Hearn, another UDFA that I like a lot out of UCLA. Jacorian Bennett, our young pup out of Maryland. Christopher Smith, I don't know why they have him at corner. I mean, I know he can move into the nickel and play if need be, but he's a safety. I don't know why they have this like this. I truly don't. David Long Jr., another sneaky pickup this offseason in free agency. Duke Shelley, Tyler Hall, Brandon Faison, another guy we brought back after a year in Indianapolis. Bryce Cosby, another guy that kind of looked good in Spurs for us last season. He's young, he's small though, 5'10", but he looked good as a UDFA last year. Sam Webb, another guy that's a UDFA that looked pretty good for us last season. Amik Robertson, a guy that I think is kind of on the outside looking in, even though he had 2 picks last season. Isaiah Brown, a guy that I probably won't make the roster, and then Nate Hobbs. Let's start with Hammer, man. What do you have here at the corner position? 2 outside guys, 1 nickel.
If we're going nickel-wise, I'm looking at Duke Shelley on one side.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a toss-up between Jacorian Bennett and David Long. And the slot is going to be Hobbs. We have to put Hobbs back in the slot. That's where he thrived the most. I think that makes sense.
Okay. I'll go before I hand it over to Wasted. I don't know where Jacorian, what he's going to look like, if he's going to be ready to go. I'm huge on Duke Shelley. I love that pickup. But if I had to pick between him and Jacorian Bennett, it's a little tricky. You know what I mean? I want our young guy, our homegrown talent to start. But if I had to just go off the head right now, Duke Shelley on one side. This is before Marcus, you guys. We haven't signed him yet. Peters is not a Raider yet. So we're just going off of what we have right now. Because if we get Marcus Peters, he's clearly starting on the outside for us. I'm gonna go Duke Shelley on one side. Shockingly, Nate Hobbs on the other outside, and Tyler Hall at the nickel position.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you got, Wasted?
I hate that I agree with your ass. I'm trying to find a way to disagree, motherfucker.
Hey,
but Nate Hobbs got to go back outside. Nate Hobbs last year didn't play well out there because you forget he had an injured hand,
broken hand. Yeah,
he had a broken hand. A Nate Hobbs with healthy hands is a dangerous Nate Hobbs. I think he has all the skill set to play outside.
Definitely,
he has the size to play outside, and I think that Duke Shelley is a guy that you're probably going to want to put him in a slot. But he did well outside last year. He's a smaller guy. You would probably want to have him in the slot. And I will hope Jacorian Bennett can play on the outside, but he's a rookie. Hard for me. It's very, very hard for me to put him out there. But what I'm hoping for is, Hobbs, Jacorian Bennett, Duke Shelley in the slot.
Okay. I truly believe, though, that Tyler Hall looked really, really good last season. And, I think there's a reason they brought him back quick. I think even before the season was up, we signed him to another 1-year deal. So they have high hopes for Tyler Hall. I think he's going to be the guy in the slot. And Duke Shelley, Nate Hobbs. We kind of all are all over the place. And mind you, I would love to have Nate Hobbs in the slot. I think he can be an all-pro talent there. But I think they have different plans for him. I really do.
I think he has all-pro talent playing outside or the slot. I just think no matter what, that aggressive mentality and his physical abilities, I think he can play anywhere on the field. It's just, we're there in the beginning of the season, they have him focusing his energy. If he starts off camp and they're like, hey, man, Nate, we're going to need you to be our cornerback number 1, and he's healthy, I think he can live up to the challenge.
And I think that he's heard the talk, about this year being that year he has to show up. And also, I think Devin Witherspoon going where he did in this draft is definitely going to light a fire up under his ass, bro. I think he's going to take that personal because everyone's talking about this young guy out of Illinois. Well, let's not forget that we drafted a guy a few years ago out of Illinois as well. And I think that he's going to want to make some noise this year. So either if he's in the slot or the outside, to be honest, Nate Hobbs is starting regardless. But, this is going to be a tricky room. Now, if we go get Marcus Peters, I think it's Peters, Nate Hobbs, and then Tyler Hall in the slot. Maybe, like you said, Shelley can move around and, I don't know, but it's going to be a little, we'll revisit this conversation when we figure out if Marcus Peters, because clearly we're looking for another corner. Clearly. So we'll see. And not even just another corner, a starter you know what I mean? Because Marcus Peters is not coming in to be a guy that's just going to be a rotational piece. He's coming in to be a starter.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I mean, the way Patrick Graham uses his guys, man, a lot of you're a starter in name only, but it all depends on, what scheme he's using for what particular team he's using. A lot of times he gets guys in and out of his defensive secondary unless he has superstar talent. There's been times when he's with the Giants where he would play around and tinker around with his lineup a lot, man.
Yeah.
So I can see that being the case this year. You know what I mean? I think matchups kind of dictate who's going to play.
Agreed. But this is exactly why, like, even in the cornerback room right now and the defensive line, like for Patrick Graham, very, very deep depth for those positions. And just like you said, Patrick Graham likes to have fresh legs all the time. He likes the constant rotation. Down and distance situations, it's going to work. I'm praying to God it works this year, especially with the guys that he has, that he was able to get, whether it being via free agency or the draft. We'll see.
Okay. I like that. And Raider for life, I would love if it ended up being Hobbs, Jacorian Bennett, and Duke Shelley. I would love that. But I feel like I think this regime is high on Tyler Hall. I think there's a reason they brought him back real quick like that. And I think that they have really big plans for the young guy. So we shall see, though. We shall see. Let's get to the next position, the safety room. I actually, you know what's funny, man? This was one of the most thinnest positions going into free agency and into the draft. And I'm actually liking how this room looks right now. Like truly. Like, I know that they had Christopher Smith, our young guy to Georgia, as a corner, but I'm putting him here in the safety room. We have him, Jaden Grant, another guy to Oregon State as a UDFA. Jaquan Johnson, another guy that we brought over from Buffalo really early on during the free agency process. Isaiah Palamau, which I believe he's going to be a guy that's going to be kind of converted to that, linebacker kind of box safety kind of guy. They're going to have him all over the place. He'll be on the line of scrimmage this year. But I'm excited to see year 2 with him. Marcus Epps, a guy that we signed to a 2-year deal. What was it, $6 million a year? I think 2 years, 12 million, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Roderick Teamer, which I like him, but I do believe he's just like just his last name, a special team guy. But he'll be there in spurts here and there. And then we got Trayvon Merrick, man. How do you guys? I'll feed her in a second. How do you want to call this safety room? Wasted your 2 starters.
Hey, Merrick, Epps are going to be out there. Smith is going to be a guy that's going to fight for that starting position. I just think when it's a situation like this, you're going to have to follow the money. The one thing about Patrick Graham is he uses a third safety as a linebacker of sorts. And I can see, even though Epps is a smaller guy, he's a good tackler, he's aggressive, I can see him using him closer to the line of scrimmage. Definitely. I can see him having Smith come in and play that, Deron Harmon kind of a role. Smith was actually, his pro comp was Deron Harmon. Yeah. He's just a younger version of Deron Harmon. I can see him playing a lot. And I pretty much see him being a guy that comes in and takes over that defensive secondary because he's such a leader.
Hammer, what you got, brother?
I have Merrick and Epps. And just like Waisa said in regards to Epps is a guy that, at least in Philly, he was used quite often in the box. So we can see him coming downhill quite often. We can see Smith rotate in here and there. I'm happy with this room. Like, when it comes to Merrick, this is his 3rd year in the league now, his 2nd year in the same system. Did deal with that hip injury last season. I think Merrick, this is going to be his prove-it year, and I do believe that he will for us moving forward. We'll see.
Merrick and Epps, those are my starting free, my starting strong. But I do believe that, like you guys said, Marcus Epps will move around a little bit. I think that Palamau is going to be that guy that plays really, really, like, he's going to be all over the place. I think he gets a lot of run this year. And I do believe, like, post-June, we have a couple more dollars. I do believe we bring Deron Harmon back. I do. I think he'll be back. Christopher Smith is going to get some burn, definitely. This guy is a captain, 2-time national champion, played really, really well with the Bulldogs at his collegiate, at the collegiate level. He's going to get a lot of run, but I do believe that this is Merrick's year. Just like Lil Bro said, this is the prove-it year. And Merrick and Epps are going to be out there. We paid Epps starter money. I think he's going to be a starter. So
you got to follow the money all the time in the National Football League. Follow the money. When they go out there and with a lot of this shit, money, draft capital, all of this stuff. Now, I know a lot of the times it's about making the best roster possible no matter what. But these GMs and these personnel guys, they have egos.
Yeah.
And they got to go to that owner and explain why they went out there and spent their money on this guy and he's not even fucking playing.
Yeah.
So you got to make it work, especially initially.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I like this comment right here. Shout out to our brother John. I love it. When was the last time we got to argue this kind of back end depth? Big pause. Finally, some rotation to keep the boys fresh and ball hawking. As of recent history, recent memory, we already knew who was starting. Like, these kind of shows were a waste of time. It was like, we're literally doing an hour-long show and just Hammer, me and you did this shit for the last couple of years, bro. Like, we know how this shit goes. It's like, oh yeah, we got this guy starting, this guy. We already know. Like, this is beautiful that we actually have to question who the hell is going to be out there starting this year.
Yep.
So listen, the last time I saw an argument over this kind of back in depth, it was Pinky versus Cherokee, man.
That was a cold battle. Cold battle. I'll tell you right now, they both won. Shout out to JT. Odds, Peters, sign. Go. I'll say this. I'll go 60-40.
Yep. That's where I'm at right now.
Man, if he's healthy, I got the odds a little higher than that. Because there's not another name you can name out there that would excite anybody in the front office more than Marcus Peters. If he's healthy, he's willing to take what we got to offer financially.
70-30?
70-30, man, if he's healthy.
But you know what? You were talking about this earlier in regards to Marcus Peters. And look, like last season, he did come off of the ACL injury, but he was still solid. Like 47 tackles, 1 interception, 1 sack, 2 fumble recoveries. He still did his thing in Baltimore. Like,
he gave up 7 touchdowns, though, and that's the thing. And that's a lot, Hammer. And I think it might be more to do with the scheme than his actual physical limitations.
Right.
Because they did switch from Wink Martindale to another guy calling the defense in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't boilerplate. Normally in Baltimore, their defense is pretty much boilerplate. They kind of have a style of play there. You know that.
Right. And
Wink Martindale does a really good job. Like, great defensive coordinators have a way of simplifying the defense. They don't that's the one thing I get a little worried about with Patrick Graham, because it gives me shades of Paul Gunther, man. If you look at anybody who's been a great defensive coordinator, it's just never complicated. It's always simple. Dick LeBeau, fucking, Jim Johnson with the Eagles for years, Rex, Footsex Rex when he was there, Wink. Those guys make shit very, very simple.
Even Wade Phillips, another guy.
Hey, bring, come on, Rex.
And your favorite socks wasted.
Oh man, you got them fuck ass socks on.
Tupac's back.
Oh my god.
Yo, let's get to the next position real quick, you guys. We already tackled the safeties and the corners on the defensive side of the ball. Now we get to the thinnest unit. Pause.
Suck my unit.
On this defensive side of the ball. The linebacker position, man. We went out and got UDFA, Drake Thomas, a guy that we were all high on during the draft process. Amari Burney, a guy that kind of just popped out of nowhere. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was not really too familiar with Amari Burney. I heard his name, but I didn't know too much about him during the whole draft process. When we took him with all the talent that was still on the board, I was a little shocked. I think we were all sitting at that bar in Vegas, right? We were like, yo, what the fuck just happened?
Not really. At least for me, because I did see him. He pretty much played opposite side of Vontrell Miller. And we saw at least I saw Bernie was like really, really good in coverage for the most part. We didn't get Miller and we got Bernie. I was like, okay. Like, again,
he's a playmaker.
He is. And this linebacking class was not a very good linebacking class, and people don't seem to understand that. Like, I really was not sold on all these guys that are like, oh, we're going to get this. Like, we should get this guy in the first. We should get this guy in the... No. Shit, I shitted on Overshawn. Yeah. Like, and that's my guy. But I was like, nah, hell no.
Yeah. But I like the measurables. 6'2", 228, good in coverage. I think he can be. I think this regime is really, really high on him.
Yeah.
Like, real talk. And I think we're going to see him on the field very early and a lot. We went out and got also linebacker Robert Spillane in free agency. He's 27 years old, coming over from the Pittsburgh Steelers. We brought back Curtis Bolton, I believe, on a 1-year deal. We still got our guy, Luke Masterson, coming back after being a UDFA last year out of Wake Forest. Played pretty good for us in spurts. I don't know who this guy. I'm gonna be Kanai Maga.
He ain't making it.
Yeah.
No, getting back to Amari.
Wasn't he a UDFA last year out of USC?
Yeah.
He ain't making it, bro.
Darian Butler, Arizona State, and Devon Diablo, a guy that I'm tired of being like, this is the year. Like, this has to be the year with him.
This better be the year. He's better get going. Because, and see,
we'll
Amari Burney is kind of the new Devon Diablo, right? Because, look, this is a message from my cousin Kevin, right? My cousin Kevin has a son that's a starter at the University of Florida right now. He hit me on April 22nd, right? The text message, he goes, as a guy who's watched quite a bit of Amari Burney, he's a converted safety from high school. Like most guys making a conversion from safety, he struggles to make plays in traffic and on inside runs. He's at his best as a coverage linebacker and a blitzer. An ideal role for him would be as a nickel inside linebacker or special teams contribute. He's a glue guy and a hard worker. He says, if you're planning to do a draft breakdown on him on your channel, start with the UGA game. He has an interception and a forced fumble. He did a decent job against Brock Bowers, who's going to be a top tight end at the next year's draft. So my cousin kind of put this in my lap, and I went and I looked at it. You know what I'm saying? So my cousin is he's from Jacksonville, and he's a college football guy. You know what I mean? He follows the Jaguars, but he's more of a college football guy, and his son plays college football. He tells me a lot of players all the time. He's always sending me guys from Florida to the SEC.
Yeah.
And I went and I looked, and he was right. See, the thing about Amari Burney is going to be Devon Diablo who can cover better. You know what I mean? So Devon Diablo's job could possibly be in jeopardy, man, because it's getting to the point where you got to shit or get off the pot. Luke Masterson is probably the best linebacker in the building. And that's sad because Devon Diablo is the guy that everybody put all of that faith behind, and Luke Masterson showed his ass last year. I think Luke Masterson is going to jump leaps and bounds. So for me, Masterson, Robert Spillane is a free agent that they brought in. So, I mean, they're not paying him a shitload of money. They brought him in for a specific reason. They're going to see how that Robert Spillane kind of experiment goes, right? They looked at him take Miles.
I think Spillane starts. I think he was a guy they were high on in free agency. I think he starts.
Yeah, he starts. Robert Spillane's going to start. They already said he might get the green dot. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but Robert Spillane's the guy who beat out Miles Jack, right? They brought him in. That experiment's going to go at least to the
apparently Miles Jack got injured and he never won his job back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he beat essentially Wally pipped him. He beat him out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, Robert Spillane is a guy that they feel like they bought low and they're gonna, probably sell high on him.
So who is your starting linebackers right now? GM wasted. Who's your starting linebackers going into the week?
Spillane, Luke Masterson is starting definitely. And then it's going to be hard, man, because look, you got Drake Thomas. Now that's a guy that I have coming in, and I got him making the team. I got him making a team, man. I have him being a guy like Luke Masterson was, but I can't say he's going to start outside. I think that Devon Diablo is going to start because they almost have to have him start. He almost
that was not a regime. This was not this regime's pick. Like you know what I mean? Like
but at this point, if you're going to have him be outside, he almost has to start.
You guys, we can talk about Quan Alexander and Kyle Van Noy until that happens. We can't really talk too much about that.
Yeah. If Kyle Van Noy comes in, day one he starts.
And Big Mike, this is facts. It will be rare for us to have 3 linebackers on the field. We'll be mostly in nickel or 6 DB sets this season. The personnel dictates it. This is facts. So if you have to pick
Masterson, Diablo, and Spillane are the 3 guys I got starting at linebacker.
Okay. So what you got, Hammer?
So like we were talking about Masterson before, and I did a live probably just as it started the off season. With Masterson, I see him as having a breakout year this coming year with us.
Me too.
Diablo, before he went down, he was leading the defense in tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at it from
a lot of those tackles were chasing down guys, though. Let's just be like down the field. Let's just keep it a buck, bro.
No, you're right.
And it's because he made the wrong read too, Hammer. He was chasing guys that he missed.
Yeah.
In the hole.
Chase these guys 5-10 yards up the field. But I get it. I know what you mean. It's still a stat. I understand that.
Well, like looking at it from a base defensive standpoint, I'm looking at, you guys are probably going to eviscerate me for this, but I have Diablo starting at the Mike. I have Spillane at the Will. I have Masterson at the Sam. And then if we go nickel, I have Diablo on one side. I have Spillane on the other.
Okay.
For the time being, like, look, you guys heard me rant and rave about Drake Thomas. He makes his roster. I will get his jersey.
Here's a bold take right here, Hammer.
What?
Real quick. Patrick Graham finds a way to utilize Divine Diablo at the safety position. He played it in college. I think he moves him around and gets creative with him. I think, he led the team in tackles early on in the season before he went down with that injury. But I think that this guy, you put him back there with the measurables that he possesses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the guy is I'm not gonna say a freak of nature or no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, 6'3", 226. Like, if you put him back there as safety, I think he can do some things with us, man. You know what I mean? Like, but I think Luke Masterson is the guy this season. I think they have a plan with Robert Spillane, and if they had to, I think Bernie is this regime's first linebacker that they drafted, right? And the guys I believe that they are really
Darian was
a UDFA.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Both those guys. This is the first guy that they said, "Hey, we want you."
Yeah.
So he's going to be on the field a lot, but initially, you know what I mean? Who's going to? Because they play a lot of 3-4 looks too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, who's going to be the strong side, Mike? So you're thinking that Divine Diablo is going to be that guy, bro?
Who?
I think he could be.
You think he's going to be the strong side linebacker, man?
I think healthy. No, strong side. No, I have him in the middle. I have Diablo in the middle. I really do.
Wow.
See, I got him as strong side backer, bro. I don't know, man. It's going. I don't know, man. It's going to be hard. He's so bad. He's so bad, man.
That's why the way I gave
it. Bernie. They also said his draft comp was Cam Chancellor because they went to the same college. You know what I mean? Like,
I gave it out was Masterson as a Sam. I think Masterson would fit well with the Sam and Spillane at Will.
I can see that. I can see that though. Well, but Masterson's going to move around.
Yeah.
But see, this is the interesting because it's like there's only so many guys. That this is an interesting position, man. Because it's like we're kind of just working with. Damn, we're just hoping.
It's an incredibly thin linebacking depth chart right now for the Raiders, and this is what we have, and this is probably gonna be that product this is today. We have not seen the guys that we drafted. We have not seen the undrafted free agents on the field. We haven't seen them at the NFL level. Let's see what those dudes are capable of throughout training camp and preseason. Yeah. Let's see if they, in fact, make the 53-man roster and see what they're capable of moving forward. This is just our early assessment of what we think and who we think are going to be the starters moving forward this season.
Excuse me, Greg, but it's subject to change, right? So when we talk about these linebackers, we're just looking at it based off their skill set. So for me, right, when you talk about a Mike linebacker, the Mike linebacker is normally the best tackler on the team, right? I don't think that that's Divine Diablo. Okay. And that's the reason why I can't have him there. I think that he's a physical freak. He's a guy that can get pressure from the outside. But I think that Robert Spillane is our best tackler. He's the most battle tested. You know what I mean? He played at the highest level, out of everybody. Now, it'd have been good if we could have kept Denzel Perriman. But
if he's a start in Mike Tomlin's defense, I trust that you can get it done. You know what I mean?
So, man.
So to me, he's my Mike. He's my Mike. And I think
me personally too, though.
So in any oh my God, I'm sorry, guys. Anything else from that, we're just going off of the currency of hope. I would like for Divine Diablo to have that maturation hammer, but the thing with him is, man, he just misses a lot of fucking tackles. He physically, dude, he really should be a star if you look at his measurables, man, right. But he's not.
And he was the guy when we drafted him. Like, I did not expect them to make this change the second he got drafted. Like, he came out of Illinois as a safety. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, this is a depth piece. We'll see what the dude's capable of. Safety. Nah, we're converting him to linebacker. I was like, what? With those measurables, I'd much rather have seen him a little bit at the safety position, but to each his own, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the greatest in coverage, though, man. You don't really want to. I mean, his measurables are good. He can turn around and run straight on, but the problem with him was he never can get his hips around. And in the NFL, they would pick on him. He was bad in coverage in college. Yeah. So you don't want to take a bad coverage safety and bring him to the National Football League. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I think that was the mistake with Jonathan Abram. Not to talk about him, but I remember when they looked at his scouting report when he was coming out of Mississippi State, they were like,
he meant Virginia Tech, y'all. I didn't mean Illinois.
I don't know why I said that.
Because you're thinking about Nahab and stuff. But at the end of the day, man, he was bad at Virginia Tech in coverage, right?
Yeah.
So, it's the same thing with Jonathan Abram. Everybody said that dude's a linebacker. I remember Stu talking about it.
I wouldn't say he was bad in coverage in college. He wasn't great, but he wasn't bad.
He was average.
Yeah, he was an average guy in coverage.
So if you're an average cover safety, why would you bring that guy and put him in safety? Like, there has to be a position change at that
It's
point.
because of the measurables. You know what I mean? That I think that Graham is going to figure out a way to work him. I don't know. This is a tricky position. And I knew we were going to spend most of our time on this because there's so many question marks at this position. Yeah. We don't know if Luke Masterson's going to be that guy in year 2. We don't know if Divine Diablo is going to be the guy in year 3. We don't know if Robert Spillane, a guy that struggles in coverage but is really good against the run, is going to be that guy. We don't know. We don't know if Palomau is going to get converted to linebacker, put on 20 pounds.
Well, do we have any coverage grades on Robert Spillane? Because Robert Spillane is not really that bad in coverage.
Nah, he's not good. He's not good in coverage.
He's not great, but he's not terrible. Like he there are some that would say that
his coverage grade 39.5. So let me just give you a quick breakdown for Robert Spillane. Defensive grade 52.5, run defense 77.3, pass rush 54.5, coverage grade 39.5.
There you have it.
So what was Denzel Perriman's last year?
I'd have to look that up. Hold up.
Good in zone, average in man coverage. There you go, D. Facts.
And last year people were saying that the Steelers might have the worst coverage linebackers in the league. So he couldn't have been great. But I'm just saying, like, I need to figure out why.
I knew you weren't saying he was great. You know what I'm saying? But like,
what I'm saying is that I need to figure out why they felt compelled to get rid of Denzel Perriman.
All right. So Perriman overall last season, 74.2. Run defense 80.5, pass rush 65.7, coverage 61.4. That was for Perriman.
30% more than.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, we talk about durability, but you sign Robert Spillane for damn near the same money that Denzel Perriman got. It wasn't much more. Denzel Perriman got a lot more, as he should. But
I agree. But this regime knows Denzel Perriman, the injuries, and they knew something that the Texans may have not known, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want to give him that kind of money to come in and not play at all?
No, and I've never been a proponent of that. But Denzel, I'd take Denzel Perriman for 13 games over somebody who probably should be sitting on the bench for 16 or 17 games.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Texans gave him damn near nothing. So for that,
that's what I'm saying. They didn't give him. I would have brought Denzel back if I didn't have a clear and concise upgrade at that position.
Yeah. No,
that's the only thing. I'm just concerned. I know Robert Spillane is a dog tackling wise, man, but in coverage, man, wow.
Yeah, this is facts, King Josh. We don't run a lot of man at linebacker, not in this scheme. And we always, this is what we talked about all offseason. We question Denzel Perriman's, like where he is with this team because of the scheme fit. And it is what it is. Let's get to the next position, you guys. Let me share the screen real fast. We're almost over with this live, you guys. Let me see. Boom. We'll do this. All right. Defensive line. We'll go to the interior of the defensive line first. Byron Young, 3rd-round pick out of Alabama, 6'3", 294 pounds. We got Nesta J. Severa out of ASU, another sneaky guy that we got in the 7th round. I think that's a steal for us. 6'2", 304 pounds. We brought Jerry Tillery back, a pass rushing defensive tackle on a 1-year deal out of Notre Dame. We went and got John Jenkins, a veteran. Let's just keep it a buck. He'll be damn near 34 years old when the season starts. This is a guy that can play the nose, but he's up there in age. He'll probably be a guy that is going to be more of a rotational piece, if anything. Maybe not even make this roster. I don't know. Adam Butler, another former New England Patriot defensive lineman, 6'4", 300 pounds out of Vanderbilt, 29 years old. Neil Farrell Jr. In year 2 out of LSU. This regime went out and got him 6'4", 330 pounds. Apparently he lost a lot of weight, and then Matthew Butler put on some weight. Matthew Butler also 6'4", 295 out of Tennessee. Bilal Nichols, a guy that didn't really do shit for us last year at the defensive lineman, defensive tackle position. He's still 26, 6'4", 290. Maybe a guy that can get to the quarterback here and there, but that's what our defensive tackle room looks like. How do you guys call this? Who are our starters on at the defensive tackle position going into this season?
I'm going with Bilal Nichols and Jerry Tillery.
Ooh, so you're going with two guys that are suspect against the run?
Yep.
Wow.
Tweaking.
No. Let me finish. This is to start. And again, like I said, when it comes to the interior defensive line, we have a very deep room right now.
That sounds like a NASCAR package to me, brother, but go ahead.
I think we're going to see a constant rotation on the interior, though.
Oh, no, we will.
We're going to see guys who are good at stopping the run. We're going to see guys that are good at the pass rush. Like, it's going to be a constant rotation on the defensive interior line. But I think realistically right now, when it comes to the starters, you're looking at Nichols and Tillery.
Wow. That's, you know what? I like that bold prediction. I like that. Wasted, what you got, bro? I mean, I think you're tweaking like a motherfucker, but I like that. Thick frame nation. So that means Neil Farrell is one of the guys that's going to man that nose position, that nose tackle spot for Wasted at the defensive tackle position.
And I think it's going to be a battle between the young rook out of Alabama.
Yes.
And you know, Jerry Tillery is a guy I hate with the fire of 1,000 suns. I can't stand the fucking guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I think Bilal Nichols, if they're not going to get rid of Bilal Nichols, I think he was brought in for a reason. They didn't really get a chance to use him the way they wanted to last year. I think it's going to be Neil Farrell, and it's between the young pup and Bilal Nichols. If Bilal Nichols doesn't show improve, he's going to be moved off this roster because he's making a whole lot of money. And I think they drafted a kid that really can do what he can do and makes a fucking not even a quarter what he makes. So I think it's going to be a youth movement on that defensive line. They're going to have, you know, a bunch of young pups. You're going to have Chandler Jones out there showing them what the deal is, Max Crosby showing them what the deal is. And I think we're going to have young
Tyree moving all around here and there.
Young, fresh legs. I think it's going to be similar to what the Giants would do.
Neil Farrell definitely starts this year on the defensive tackle room. And Byron Young is the other guy next to him. I don't think Bilal Nichols even makes this roster. I think we saved about $3 million getting rid of him. We brought back Tillery, a guy that kind of does the same thing as him, that can get to the quarterback. Well, he's mainly a guy that, you know, can't play the run at all. Bilal Nichols can play it, but he's not really that great. We saved too much money getting rid of Bilal Nichols. He's like the Brandon Bolden of the defensive tackle room. Like, there's no need for him at this point. Byron Young, Neil Farrell, then the rotation of Matthew Butler, Tillery on clear passing downs, you know, and then the other guys, you know, that we have can, you know, move in here and now. But I don't see. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. Be clear, though. Be clear. If Bilal Nichols comes into camp and he plays the way that I know he can play, like he played with the Chicago Bears, he could be a starter. That's a huge if. But if he comes in and plays that way immediately, it's going to be hard to get rid of him, man.
Okay, but either way, Hammer's right though. It's going to be that defensive line is going to look different every time you see the defense on the field. Like the interior of the defensive line is going to be a rotational thing. You're going to see Butler out there. You're going to see all these guys. You're going to see Adam Butler. There's so many moving parts on that defensive line, but I do believe, Chloe, stop biting my damn lights. Neil Farrell and I think Byron Young, I think they're really high on him. A guy that can play the run and get to the quarterback. I think he's the guy that's going to start at defensive tackle next to Neil Farrell. And I think they have really high hopes for Thick Frame Nation this season. I do too.
Byron Young is a guy that if you look at his skill set, and I know you guys are going to get on my ass because he's not quite the physical specimen, but he plays the Justin Tuck role. Mm-hmm. He is a guy that you can line up outside at defensive end. And you can also bring him back inside and he can get pressure from the middle. He's a guy that I think that he makes Bilal Nichols irrelevant if he comes out and shows his ass, right? But Bilal Nichols does have a lot of talent. And I know I'm saying the same thing, but differently. Bilal Nichols, if he comes in and can tap into what he tapped in with Chicago, he'd be damn near our best defensive lineman.
It's just the money though, man. Like that's like you can free up that money and go get a Kyle Van Noy. Like right now, you can literally cut Bilal Nichols and go get Kyle Van Noy.
You can get two players for what he's making. And look, he's a guy that I had red circle I'm just saying I'm holding out hope. And I said, and look, I said Byron Young, that's what I said, and Neil Farrell. But I'm holding out hope that maybe he can tap into what he could have been, because I had high hopes from him last year. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just giving you a little cursor here.
I think, Eddie, I love Jordan Willis, the young guy that, the guy that we took from the Niners in free agency. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to get a lot of burn. To me, he's more of an edge rusher. I know we'll kick him inside as well. He'll be all over the place. He'll be definitely a rotational piece, a guy that can get us 3 or 4 sacks this season. I truly believe that. I think he's that talented. But starter-wise, I don't think Jordan Willis starts at all. You know what I mean? But I definitely think that we see a lot of him this upcoming season. Shout out to JT once again. Young is thick with good hands. Dude moves people. This is facts. Facts, bro. Facts, bro. At that point, I let's just keep it a buck, you guys. Like, we can go to this edge room, and it's like we already know who's going to start here. Yes, we went and got Tyree Wilson at 7 out of Texas Tech, but Chandler Jones is still on a crazy deal. You know what I mean? Yes, he's on the tail end of his career. He started picking up at the end of last season. I still believe that the starters are clear cut as Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. But I think Tyree is going to be all over the place. I've always said this since we drafted him, that I think he's going to get some burn in the interior on clear passing downs. It's like that NASCAR type shit. But he's also going to get a lot of burn on the edge this year. Chandler's getting paid way too much money to just get beat out in camp. I'm sorry. But
Chandler Jones can actually stand up and be an outside linebacker as well. You know what I mean? So I could see Tyree, if he's healthy, starting from day one and having Chandler Jones being a rush outside linebacker, similar to the way he was with the Arizona Cardinals.
You know what's funny, man? We're so used to growing up the football we watched, you either ran a 3-4 or 4-3, right? Yeah. Like now we totally forget how crazy this shit is. Like, one play we're out there with a 4-3, we're on a 3-4, the next then we're like a crazy 4. We totally forget that. So yes, you are right, bro. We will see Chandler Jones out there playing the outside linebacker position, and we can see Tyree and Max on the edge. I love it. But either way, we're going to see Tyree a lot. We're going to see Tyree Wilson a lot this year. Definitely a lot. But I still have Chandler and Max on the edge. What you got, little bro?
Look, we still have not heard the extent of Chandler Jones's injury. We really have not heard anything since he went down with that injury. We haven't heard anything this offseason about him.
Oh, shit.
You know that there have been people out there, media and
I forgot he got injured.
And people are like, oh, is he going to retire? We haven't heard a damn thing. Right now, I have it as 1A, Chandler Jones. If he's 100% and ready to go, 1B, obviously, is going to be Tyree Wilson. But again, we don't know what is going on with him right now. Nobody knows. So that when it comes to that side, when it comes to the right side edge, it's going to be one of those two guys. And obviously, left side, Max.
I want to see I want to see Tyree next to Chandler.
So do I. And look, we talked about it even the second we drafted him. I said, look, we know what Chandler Jones is capable of, or was capable of, especially in Arizona, as that hybrid edge / outside linebacker. We'd love to fucking see that shit on third and long situations where we have Jones as outside linebacker. You throw Tyree Wilson on the edge. I'm here for it, man. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah. Nah, facts, man. Shout out the pace real quick. In the 5 games Spillane started, he had a 76.4, 70.5, 76.1, and a 29.3 coverage grade.
So we just fucking signed another free agent linebacker that can't cover a fucking nosebleed. Great.
I mean, but bro, I didn't expect him to do that. And once again, we keep talking about this. It's so hard to find linebackers that can cover anyway. And most of the time when you sign these guys that can so-called cover, they come in and they can't cover no more. You know what I mean? So it's
Corey Littleton,
Jayon Brown, like the list goes on. We keep thinking that we go sign these great cover linebackers and it doesn't pan out. At the end of the day, man, it's not easy, you guys, to find a linebacker that can play the run and be great in coverage. It's just very difficult to find.
And when you find one, they're called Pro Bowlers. The Bobby Wagners of the world, like the Navarro Bowmans of the world. If I'm going back, guys like that. Those are guys who
Fred Warner, a dog.
Yeah, the best in the league, pretty much. Yeah. It's look, man. those guys are few and far between, man. It's like finding a star center who can score in basketball.
Yeah. Real quick, yeah, we broke down the team, you guys, but who we think is going to start. But who are we? You know, we don't know shit. But yeah, I mean, we putting our stuff out there, man, letting y'all know who we think, you know, is going to be out there week 1. Like I said before, we still have a few more moves that we're making. You know, the corner room could look totally different if we go get Marcus Peters. The wide receiver room can look totally different if we move on from Hunter Renfrow. You know, the linebacker room can look totally different if we go get Kyle Van Noy. So, you know, we will revisit this live another time. But Eddie, thank you for bringing that up, brother. Great breakdown of the defense, gentlemen. Before y'all shut it down, can we unpack? I think we all kind of did this already. Hammer didn't, though. So, like, I want to actually get Hammer's opinion on this because me and Wasted already kind of broke this shit down, how we felt. I'm not looking at it as too deep of a – I don't even – look, it is what it is. That's a leader in this locker room. He can say whatever the fuck he wants. That's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? What'sInWhiskey.com. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, Hammer, how you feel about the whole Devontae Adams interview with The Ringer? Before you do, I don't know if you read the entire article. So, you know, he talked about how much he loves being in Vegas, how much he loves being able to have dinner with his, you know, with his family and all that other stuff. That he didn't go to the Raiders to be all cute with Derek Carr, you know what I'm saying, like blah, 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 and that he did have some question marks about the offense, which he should, right? How do you feel about that article?
So I was in your in the chat when you were live earlier this afternoon. I said what I said, like, look, like when it comes to shit like this right now, especially during the offseason, like the media, these analysts will come up with anything to try to twist somebody's words around and make a story for no fucking reason. So like any of this shit that comes out right now, take with a shot of penicillin and fucking leave it alone. Like, look, we knew what was going on when Carr was benched. And it was like, look, that's it. He's not coming back. Yeah. It was clear that Tay was going to have some type of say in who the next quarterback for this team was going to be. Look, it's Jimmy Garoppolo. In my opinion, and look, I don't know Tay personally. I think he's content with what he has right now. Like, look, you just won a full season without Aaron Rodgers, who you played with for what, 8-9 years, and were successful. You fucking had Carr for X amount of games, fucking threw fucking terribly, but you fucking made fucking chicken shit into chicken soup and put up some serious fucking numbers. You had Garoppolo. Not Garoppolo, I'm sorry. You had Stidham for the last 2 games. Stidham did really, really well in his first fucking start. Tay had 158 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Like this, he had over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns the last 2 weeks in the season.
Again, shit like this right now, because these dudes have nothing to fucking talk about during the offseason, they're gonna fucking try to create a story. They're gonna twist a story and blow shit out of proportion for no fucking reason.
JT, I fucking hate you, bro.
Yo, I saw that shit.
I fucking hate JT, bro. Hey, the only reason you guys that we didn't mention all the edge rushers because this is the clear-cut room. Like, we didn't want to talk about Jordan Willis and Malcolm Kuntz and, the young pup that we brought out of Nigeria and Adam Plant Jr. and Brock Martin, George Tarlis. Like, we know who's starting as edge rushers. So we didn't want to break down all those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just keep it a buck. But, Hammer, I agree with you. I just have to say this. The one thing that I didn't like, though, and I have to say, real talk, was it, and I get it though. I understand where Devontae was coming from. Was him saying, "I wanted to show," like when him saying, "Did I make first team All Pro? Did I make first team All Pro?" Because he wanted to prove to everybody he can do it without Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Me, I understand that, but it's like, bro, you're Devontae fucking Adams, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't like that. It was just like, what? Like, why are you so big on trying to show that you can succeed without this guy, bro? Like, you're literally the greatest wide receiver in the league. Like,
I don't think when you got people, especially in Green Bay, right, where they laud the quarterback and they've been sucking Aaron Rodgers' ass for.
I get it.
So every day you have some asshole that's like, hey, Devontae, can you tell us how it feels to play with Aaron Rodgers? Can you tell us how it feels to actually know him and have his phone number?
Yeah.
You know, because you have motherfuckers in their media talking about, well, the only reason, you know, it doesn't matter who Aaron Rodgers. We've seen him do this with Jordy Nelson, and we've seen him do it with this one. And once he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers, he's nobody. I think he needed that. Man. He
And
needed.
I get it. I mean, bro,
Motherfuckers,
40.
yo, I'm him. Fuck
Yeah.
what you heard.
Yeah.
You can put Jared Stidham. You can put fucking whoever at quarterback. I am going to get mine because I am that damn good. And he's styling and profiling all over the media, baby.
And this
I
is the
love
thing.
it.
Devontae Adams did that this year, last year, you guys, in the worst year that Derek Carr ever had in his career. Think about that. Like, Devontae had one of those all-pro first-team year type of years with Derek Carr in his worst year of his career.
Yep.
So I can only imagine what he's going to look like. Like it doesn't matter who throws the fucking ball to Devontae Adams. He's just that good. It doesn't matter. Don't get me wrong. You want to have a great quarterback that can get you the ball. And I understand that he's looking at the situation with Jimmy G as, man, I don't know how this is going to work, but, you know, blah, blah, blah. But, man, bro, like we said before, Stidham over 200 yards the last 2 weeks of the season against one of the greatest defenses in the NFL, and then against the Super Bowl champs with 2 TDs. You're going to ball out regardless. And if you go look back at the stats that even Devontae put up with Jordan Love, they were pretty damn good. So Devontae is going to be Devontae. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
You know what matters, though? Targets. And the one thing Carr did was he sure enough forced that ball to Devontae Adams. And I hope that they don't have this spread it around mentality like they have with the running back. See, a lot of the shit that they do, I sometimes wonder, is it about football or is it about keeping contracts low?
Yeah.
They better make sure that they realize that they have an all-time great. When you have an all-time great, force the ball. Who gives a fuck? Do what you got to do. Force it to him because he's open when he's not even open.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When that hand go up, give him the ball. I remember Warren Sapp saying that about Randy Moss back in the day.
Yep.
I don't want to have a quarterback that doesn't realize when Tay go like this, try to put whatever mustard you got so he can go get it for you.
Yeah, but you guys, I'm telling y'all now, as Raider fans, right? We don't watch a lot of Niners shit because we can't stand the motherfuckers. But a lot of people are underestimating Jimmy G's arm. I'm just saying that. He's not the deep ball god. But he can throw the ball down the field. You know what I mean? And if you can get the ball in Devontae Adams' hand in the middle of that field, he's going to make a play. So I'm not really worried about it. Like, I think if Jimmy G can stay healthy, this is definitely going to be a good year for Devontae. If Devontae put up 1,500 yards last season and 15 TDs, I believe, with Derek Carr and Stidham, trust me, he can do even more with the healthy Jimmy G. I'm telling y'all now, a guy that knows the system and knows exactly where Josh McDaniels wants the ball at every point. I'm telling you now, Devontae's in for a big, big year if he can stay healthy and if Jimmy G can stay healthy.
I hope so, man.
Yeah. With that being said, man, thank you guys, man. We're coming up on 2 hours. Once again, man, shout out to everybody here in the building. Salute to you guys. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Once also again, shout out to our brother Wasted Talent, 7K today.
Yes, we're on the road to 8K next month. 8K, baby. Let's go.
Now the one thing that Shield Moore is going to be heavy on moving forward is getting our brother Hammer to 7K as well. So make sure you guys go subscribe to our brother Hammer. We're going to make sure we push that issue crazy moving forward because, look, man, you know, our brother put on great content as well. We got to make sure all our guys are out here cooking. But
Content
is, you know what I mean? But this one's about Wasted. So salute to Big Bro for putting in that work, man. And look, people don't realize he's been doing it for a year. He has over 300 videos already. Like Wasted didn't just get the rub that people be trying to say. He actually put the fucking work in.
Yeah, man. Look, bro.
I appreciate Wasted jumping on my shows back in the day and causing a whole bunch of fucking problems and then got into his own shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I did. I just jumped on y'all shows, started a bunch of shit. You know, that's what I do. But guys, you know what, man? Look, no matter what people say, you can say what you want, right? But at the end of the day, man, it was for you, was not.
Yeah.
And this is for me. And I'm gonna humbly say that I definitely put the work in. And people could say what they want. They could talk about rubs, but there's a whole lot of motherfuckers who got.
And I only said that because people mention it. Me personally.
No, I know that.
I don't believe in the so-called rub. I believe that all my guys
said that yesterday, and I'm gonna say this. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, 60% of Raider Nation got that same rub. Not Raider Nation YouTube. 60% got that same rub. 60% motherfuckers was on the screen with all different kind of people, right? And at the end of the day, it don't matter who you're on the screen with. It matters when you're on the screen by yourself. What happens when you're on the screen yourself? What happens? What are you gonna do when you don't have 60 motherfuckers in the chat with you? What are you gonna do? Can you make people buy into what you got going on? And humbly, I will say that, I love everybody who support me, and everybody that supports me shows up and shows out every time I go live, and I appreciate y'all, man.
There we go. Shout the Ghost Regime. Bold take right here. Willis will put Chandler third on the depth chart. Holy shit. Jordan, high stakes, Willis.
I think you're getting them mixed up with the other Jordan, Michael Jordan.
Shout out to my dog, the Ghost Regime Network podcast, man. Shout out to my dog. With that being said, you guys, Eddie, I seen you troll the whole show, so I'll finally give you some love on the way out. Can y'all touch on Dixon my ass next show? That's how you wanted to say it, right?
Yeah.
There you go, Eddie, you dirty-minded motherfucker.
Hey, Eddie, you can touch on Dixon your own ass. We won't do it over here.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about the Dixon. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to our brother Eddie, man. With that being said, respect, salute to all the family on the way out, man. Subscribe to Hammer, subscribe to Wasted, subscribe to OakLosVegas Raiders Network. We got a lot of things in the work, you guys, and we have there's a few things I can't even talk about yet that's in motion right now that's about to happen. Just understand we are going to keep grinding, keep working like crazy, and we're going to keep elevating and raising the bar all the way up here for everybody that does this shit. With that being said, shield more to the day we die. You already know what it is. Bing bong, bitch. We out.
Sanctioned by the new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.